is breaking.
Yes, I am like to ask you that have you done the projects?
Your voice is not clear, myself. Hello.
Yes, this project is done.
Yeah, I did log into the AWS as I had already account for the AWS. I did practice some of the like instances, creating instances on AWS and Azure. I was trying to do create the virtual network. Also, the project and the things that you told to learn about the multi-factor authentication on Azure. I also tried to study it on it.
Okay, great, great, great.
So how are things in Delhi as in Corona?
It's just here, but we are working at home, so there
Okay.
is no.
So all lockdown is like too much of strictness, or is it like you get all the things?
There is so many things happening around. So, we should not go to anywhere. And
Your voice is not clear, Maisha.
yes, we are at home. We don't have to go anywhere.
Okay, okay.
So that's why I have just think that I have lots of time for you to provide
Mhm.
informations regarding cybersecurity so that you can just learn everything.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, so let's do it.
Okay.
I'm going to share the screen. Yes, are you able to see the screen?
Yes, I can see the screen.
How do you hack the web servers? Especially regarding to you that how do you connect on the web?
Your voice is not clear again, sir.
Okay,
Hello.
yes, yes, yes. Hello, this is audible.
Yes, that's better. Thank you, sir.
So please mute your audio.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So hacking the web servers, this is the we know what we have different web servers available. So how to going to hack the web servers are the programs that are used for hosting websites, right? So web servers may be deployed on the separate web servers hardware and installed on its host as a program. The use of web applications is also increased over the last few years. The upcoming web applications is flexible and capable of supporting larger clients. In this chapter, we will be accessing the web servers vulnerabilities and web servers attacking techniques and tools and their mitigation methods. Okay. So web servers are the servers. You know what? Do you know the servers is all about? What do you understand by servers?
So servers is something that we have as an active directory, which is a centralized. So all the resources and the data are managed through the centralized servers. Servers holds the database. It is used for authentication. It is used for like creating a directory for all the resources and database which is within the organization.
Yes, yes, right, yes. So servers are providing services to the clients.
Yes.
Servers are basically providing service to the clients.
Yes.
Okay, so there are multiple types of servers. There's web servers, this is Active Directory servers, there's domain controller servers, FTP servers, there's DHCP servers, and different ones. So web server is providing the websites. Okay, so web server is a program that hosts website based on the both hardware and software. It delivers files and other content on the website over hypertext transfer protocol (HTTP). As we know that the internet has the waste services have become a major part of the internet. It is used for deliverable files, email communications, and other purposes. So web servers supports different types of applications, whereas all the other them support HTML for basic content delivery. Web servers can be differentiated by the security models, operating systems, and other factors. Okay. So before we going for the server, what web servers, we need to understand what are the different protocols are working. So what do you understand by HTTP and HTTPS, TLS, SSL protocols? Yes. Any ideas you would like to share to me? So this is, if I'm talking about the HTTP, what is HTTP used for? Hypertext transfer protocol. What is use case of this? Any ideas you would like to share to me? So this is HTTP. Suppose I am to create a website which is hosted on HTTPS, or somebody is going to create website on HTTP. So what is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS?
Encryption is there, sir, for security.
Encryption is there.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So for protecting the data, transmitting data.
Okay. So HTTP is more secure just because of its encrypted. Okay. So web server HTTP is not secure. So we can open it from any Wireshark. If you're going to open a Wireshark, we can, decrypt the messages over HTTPS. Okay, so web server security issues. So security issue to a web servers may be include network level attacks and operating system attacks. Okay, usually an attacker targets any vulnerability and mistakes in the configuration of the web server and exploit these loopholes. So once we're going to configure a web server, so we need to configure the IAS, Internet Information Servers. Okay, and we have misconfigurations of the uh, server. Okay, so whatever code is what deployed by the coders is also a what configuration issues. So we have find out the vulnerabilities, okay, in the websites in the server end. Okay, so what are the vulnerabilities? Includes improper permissions of file directories. So we don't have what the information, not improper information permissions on the file directories. Okay, default configurations left, enable unnecessary services, lack of security. There are different number of boxes into those websites. Misconfigured SSL certificates, enabled debugging. Okay, so debugging mode is enabled. Misconfiguration of SSL certificates. There are number of boxes there. Lack of security is in time, enabling unnecessary services, default configurations, and improper permission of the directories. So these are the what vulnerabilities need to be find out in the penetration testing once we are going to do it. So pen testing, if you're doing for websites, first of all, you just have to check it out the improper permissions and the file directories. So what are different directories are created into the website, okay, and the servers, and then we need to check it out. Is it shareable or it's not shared? It's what type of permissions, what type of security parameters, on the directories. Okay, and then second things we need to check it out the default configurations. What is it default configurations? We need to change it out. Okay, and enable unnecessary services. Okay, enabling unnecessary services. Okay, so any web servers require some different services gonna run it. Okay, so unnecessary if you enable the services, so it is also the loopholes, lack of security. Okay, so you are not taking care of the security same time once you are server. So different security parameters. Okay, so there are so many bugs into your websites. Okay, and the SSL certificates you have misconfigured SSL certificates. That is one of the things is there. Enabling debugging all sort of things. Okay, so we will go for other things. So server administrators make sure about eliminating all vulnerabilities and deploying network security uh, measures such as IDS, IPS, and firewalls. Threats and attacks to a web server are described later on in this chapter. Once a web server is compromised, it will result in compromising all user accounts, denial of service offered by the server, defectment, launching further attacks through the compromised website, accessing the resources, and data theft. Okay, so server administrators, suppose you are, what vulnerabilities and deploying the network securities such IPS, IDS, and files you provided. But then if you're talking about from web servers, okay, so in the web servers is compromised just because of there is, compromising all the users' accounts and denial of service attacks sort of things. Okay, and launching further attacks through the compromised websites. So matter of fact that if you implement the firewall, but the thing is somebody will going to be coming outside to inside of your internal network or the web servers. Okay, so they will do the denial of service attack same time. So open source web server architectures we have the type of the open source web server architecture is open source web server architecture is a web server model in which an open source web server is hosted on either a web server or a third party host over the internet. Most particular and widely used open source web server are Apache HTTP server. Okay, so Apache servers you will just find out in the Linux environment. So I hope you have worked on the Linux environment till now. Okay, and Nginx is one of them. Apache Tomcat is there, and Lick HTTP is one of the big, and Node.js is one of them. Okay, so these are the some open source web servers. So file systems, Apache, email applications, PHP, MySQL. These are the some type of server accessibility sort of things. So we have accessibility of files, Apache sort of things, email, PHP application, MySQL, and it's the internet, and the user is going to access the particular things from the internet. Okay, and admin also the same time the credentials to log into all sort of things. So file system, how the application is going to run it, what are the different languages like Java, PHP. Okay, and this is the server, Apache servers, okay, Windows server sort of things. The email services and MySQL services. These are different sort of services and open source architecture is going to use at the same time. So you have to good depth knowledge about all sort of things: MySQL, emails, Exchange servers, Apache servers, PHP applications, file system, how we're gonna work connect. Okay, so if you're just talking about some Windows environment, right? We are using some IaaS web servers architecture. So Internet Information Services is a Windows-based service which provides a request processing architecture. IaaS latest version is 7.x. Now, the architecture includes Windows Process Activation, WAS, Web Service Server Engine, and integrated request processing pipelines. IaaS contains multiple components which are responsible for several functions such as licensing to the request, managing processes, reading configuration files, etc. Okay, so suppose you have Microsoft web server available. So what you're going to do is first of all you need to create a server, then you need to install a IaaS Internet Information Service same time on the Windows platform, and the latest IaaS is 7.x. Currently, it is using it. Architecture is using it, and Windows Process Activation Service need to be enabled. So these sort of things you need to perform on the Windows side. Okay. So components of IaaS Internet Information Service, the protocol listener. Protocol listeners are responsible for receiving protocol specific requests They forward these requests to IAS and processing them and return responses to cricketers. Okay, so for listeners, we have HTTP dot sys. So HTTP listener is implemented as kernel mode device driver called the HTTP protocol stack HTTP dot sys. So HTTP dot sys is responsible for listening HTTP requests, forwarding these requests to IAS and processing, and returning responding to the client in the browser. Okay. So HTTP listener, we have is basically it is used for suppose the client is asking queries to the server same time. So the HTTP listeners comes to the picture in the web servers. Okay, and it is basically implemented as a kernel device driver called the HTTP kernel and responsible for listening the HTTP request from the client. Okay, and once it is getting the request from the client, it is forwarding to the IAS server. Okay, so IAS for processing sort of things. Okay, so then it is processing and the return process the responses to the client browsers. Okay, it will process the query and then send to the client of the browser to the client same time. So we have worldwide web publishing service, WWE service, and the Windows process activations. WAS is one of them. So in this previous version of IES Worldwide Web Service, WWE service is handling the functionality. Where is the version 7 and later WWE service was WAS. Okay, service are used. These services run svc host.exe on the local system and share the same binaries. Okay, so these are the service name is basically is svc host.exe. Okay, so before some time ago it was used by the WWE service, but right now it is used the WAS service. So WAS service is Windows Process Activation Services there. Okay, so how is going to do it? First of all, the client is going to giving a queries over the internet. Okay, browser the browser it is opening browser like Chrome or Mozilla sort of things, and then it is the request is going to the internet, and then the stack http.sys file is there, which is going to check it out, and then the service spc.host.exe is going to be check it out. WS, WWE, what type of platform it is going to use it. Then the spc host is .exe is going to web server code, native modules and managed modules, what type of modules it is going to be asked same times, and then it is responding to the HTTP. And HTTP, SSH host.exe is going to host config. So the client information is also is available same time into the SSH host.exe. So what is the request is coming from? What is the client informations like IP address sort of things. So this is the architecture of web servers you need to understand. Okay, so Apache servers for Apache's sort of thing is using this Linux environment. If we're talking about some IAS, so this is a based what Microsoft Windows sort of thing. So we are using WAS sort of things into the Microsoft end. So web server attacks. So web server attacking techniques include several techniques. Some of them as defined earlier in this group. So the remaining techniques are defined below. So DDoS attack, okay, distributed denial of service attacks or DOS attacks. So DOS and distributed denial attacks, their attacking techniques are defined in detail in chapter 9. These DDoS attacks are used to flood fake requests toward web servers, resulting in the crashing, unavailability of denial of the service for all the users. So what happens? Suppose the client and server communication is going to run it. So as a man in the middle attack, or okay, and the session hijacking, the hacker is going to what happen? The hacker is basically providing a number of requests to the web servers. Okay, and after some time, once the request is coming again and again, a number of requests is providing to the server. So server is not responding same time. Okay, and it is also crashing the server same time. So there is no service availability. It is called a DDoS attack sort of thing. So unavailable the services same time, so that the DDoS attack has been done. DNS server hijacking. So by compromising DNS server, attacking modifies the DNS configuration. The effect of modification result in terms of regarding the request towards uh, tar target web server to malicious server on or controlled by the attacker. So what happened? The DNS server hacker is hijacking is basically the DNS is basically what is DNS is doing. First of all, need to understand. So DNS is basically resolving the queries, okay, and resolving the things like IP address to name or name to IP address sort of thing, okay. So the DNS server is basically reports available of your host machines, okay. So what happened? The server is compromising same time the attacker. So attacker what is doing it? DNS configurations, what modifies the DNS configurations. The effect of modifications is in terms of directing the request towards target web server to malicious server owned by the controlled by the attacker. Okay. So suppose right now I am what working on this computer. So I would like to check my DNS server. So suppose I would like to check this DNS server. This is my DNS servers right now. Okay. 192.168 is my gateway of resolving the DNS from the same sort of things. Suppose I would like to access the cisco.com or google.com and I would like to check the DNS server information. So I will go for cisco.com. And there is, what, this is my router information. This is my router information and this is cisco.com and this is the 70.163.4.185. This is the DNS server. So attacker, what is going to do it? Attacker basically manipulate the DNS server, okay? Attacks the DNS server same times and modify the configurations, DNS configurations. So in the DNS server, what happens? DNS servers have different records available. Mail exchange record available, A record available, host record available, the different records available. So if you work on the DNS server, so they have you good idea about it, how the DNS server is gonna work in. Okay, so host record are basically your custom records available. So we have flux DNS, registered DNS. Okay, so this is sort of commands we are going to use it to input entries. So DNS is basically what happened IP address to host, IP address of the sites, which is here providing resolving sort of things. Okay, so the DNS amplification attacks is one of them. So DNS amplification attack is performed with the help of DNS recursive method. Attacker takes advantage of the feature, spoofs the lookup request to DNS servers. DNS server responds the request to the spoofed address, the address of the target by amplification of the size of the request and using botnets, result distributed in an service attacks. Okay. So what happens? DNS amplification is what happens. The attacker is going to what spoof the addresses, okay, and address to the targets. Okay, suppose I'm going to access the cisco.com, so attacker is going to change the target, spoof the address. I'm going to cisco.com, it is going to work cisco.com/India. So this sort of what amplification has been done, manipulations of the same things done it. Okay, so size of request and using botnet requesting distributed denial of service attack has been done same time. So there is no finding out. Okay, or unnecessary load over the servers, and server is quite busy to finding out the service, the queries. Okay, and we server got the number of requests from the clients, more than 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 requests. Okay, and your servers is what configurations is too low. So server is not able to provide the responding same time. So it is going to be hanged. Okay, so same time it is not going to provide the service. So it is a distributed denial of service attack has been done. Directory traversal attacks. So in this type of attack, attacker attempt using trial and error method to access restricted directories using routes and slash sequences. By accessing the directories outside the root directory, attacker reveals sensitive information about the system. Okay. So in this attack, what happened? Attacker attempts using trial and error method to accessing restricted directories using dots and slash sequences. Okay. Suppose I'm just going to do here. I will give you some example like that. Do yeah, I'm going to open it. Okay. So if I'm going to finding out some files from this particular my system, from my drives. So I'm going to use star. Okay. So we have different directories available, sort of things. Okay. And suppose I'm going to open it slash, and then I can open 192.168.1.1 sort of thing. So this is a slash we're using this, the star and star, the dots. Okay. This sort of thing functionality are using it on the files, directories. If you're going to open this particular any web browser, and then you can going to open some. So it is not going to find out anything here. Okay, yeah. So this is the, you know what, you are using some dots and a star sort of thing to taking the root directories. And another thing is man the middle attacks, sniffing attacks. So is defined in the previous chapters to using man the middle attacks. The attacker places himself in between client and server and sniff the packets, extract sensitive information from the combination by intercepting and altering the packets. Okay, so man the middle attack was happens the client and server communication same time, and man the middle attack or sniffing attacks. Okay, so I'm going to use some Wireshark or another sort of thing. So I will just going to capture the packets. And we have some phishing attacks. Using phishing attacks, attacker attempt to extract login details from a fake website that looks like a legitimate website. This stolen information, mostly currencies, are used by the attacker to impersonate of the legitimate user on the actual target server. Okay, so man-in-the-middle attack, phishing attacks, okay, session hijacking sort of things. So these are some different you know what attacking on the websites. Website defragment, defacement. So website defacement is the process in which attacker, after successful institution into a legitimate website, alters and modifies the content appearance of the website. It can be performed by several techniques such as Sql injection to access the website and replace it. So Sql injection is basically you have to find out some credentials of admin credentials to the website so you can control the databases, and also you can control the coding part is there. Okay. So what you're going to do is, suppose any website we're going to be open it. We're going to just open any websites, right? So this is the website, right? Cisco.com, and currently I'm just going to log in with my account. So I have to log into the admin account same time. I have the admin account of this particular site, so I I'm just going to modify the number of things. So what I'm going to modify, I'm going to here. I'm going to inspector is open, okay, and these are the different classes and different things gonna work in same time. So I'm going to debug. So it is the debugger options is available. So debugging thing is enabled from the website. So it's a security breach from the Cisco side. Okay, so we can just going to modify any code same time. Here it is. Okay. So the security breach we will find out. Okay, and we will have some modifications in the memory sort of things, the memory decay sort of thing. Okay, this is the storage part. So we have some paths and this is sort of different storage we will just find out. Okay, so index DB, if you're going there, indexing there, this is the cookies. So you just find out, you know what, still the cookies same time. So these are different cookies available, not available just because of it's very secure website. This is HTTPS first of all, okay, website, and it's also using some digital certificates. Okay, so I will show it how it looks like. So this website is basically certificates installed. So product settings. So it is a secure connection same time. Okay, so we will go here and then we go to more informations and then we have the security things, right? We have some certificates also installed into this. Okay, so this is the California and this is the hashing algorithm is also available. So the digital certificate is installed. So how to check it out? Certificate.mgr I think command is here. So window R brings sometimes and type the cert.mgr to this connection. Okay, so this is the command we are going to use it. Okay, so this is the system Windows client side. Okay, this is the personal certificates. This is different certificates are already installed in the system. Okay, so these certificates are what already installed. This is a Microsoft Organization Access. The certificate is valid 19 1 to 2030. Okay, so this is the personal certificates. So we have different certificates installed on the different side. Trusted sites. This is root side, and we have just take a look that we have different certificates installed on the client side. Okay, so why this is what the use cases of particular things? Suppose we are going here, okay, and the certificate is installed on the client side and also the server side same time. So there is a secure communications. Okay, so how the secure communications? So we are using some SSL, secure socket layer, and TLS, okay, transport layer security. So SSL was using earlier, so right now we are using TLS, transport layer security. So end-to-end security with the client and the server. Okay, so man-in-the-middle attack and session hijacking not has been done just because of encrypted communication between the client and server. Okay, and second things we have digital certificates installed on the client, okay, and the server side same time. So how you got information is all about. We have some hashing algorithm is available. So, okay, so we have what if you're talking about here, SSC256 EDSA signature algorithm is available. As okay, and we have what we have also the hashing is available same time. So no one can what if you any modifications has been done to the certificates, then the client is rejected at the same time. Okay, so it's a digital signatures key implement this is client authentications, IPsec and system IPsec kernel, IPsec user and server authentications. So it is used all sort of purpose. This particular certificate is talking about. Okay, so this is RSA 256 certificate, and if you want to certificate download, then you can download the certificate from here or from file. Okay, and if you going more information, so we are also going here and then we will find out all sort of things of certificate information. Okay, so digital signature is different thing, digital certificate is different thing. So right now we are talking about some certificate signing authority is basically a digital certificate that we are talking about right now. Okay, so this is a PM time 256 and this is available, and this is the default certificates installed once the client is installed. Okay, so the Windows 10, if you're going to install any Windows, okay, server have different, so we have different certificates available. So if you require some different, you could suppose you're using your own company and you have created a web servers, okay, and then you require some security. So first of all, we need to purchase a certificate from the INA, okay, a certificate authority company. So in this case, right now the organization is Gualo Gadis Limited, and okay, the common name is this, and it is basically providing certificates to the Cisco. Okay, so we have to purchase the certificate from and then we have to modify the information. Okay, so this is serial number of this particular thing. Okay, the RS token is there, 256 is key. Okay, this is as a 256 key. Same time. On that we need to install the server from the client, and then we have to restore the certificate from the server side for the secure communication channel. Okay, that is why the hacker is going to access your servers. So first of all, he need to decrypt the particular, the certificates. So this is the 256 is there. So we don't know what is behind it. So we don't know what is all about. Okay, the serial number is all about, and the models is all about. Okay, so the key size is 4096. So it is very encrypted. If you understand the uh, cryptography. So we have 256, 1024, and this is 4096 key size. Okay, so RS token. This is a public key sort of things. This is the modules as well. So we have to decrypt. This is the certificates. What is the keys? Okay, encrypted has been done. So we need to decrypt the particular keys, and then we will find where we're going to access sort of things. So no, it's not easy for the hackers to crack this particular size of the key because size is 4096. So back to again. Okay, so website detachment, we are talking about the Sql injection. So in the Sql injections, we already suggest you that if we have the admin credentials of this particular certificates of this particular website, then we can gonna use it. So the information, so all the cookies is there. So what you going to check it out? First of all, you have to check it out. Okay, this is the encryption the TLS. Okay, I'm talking about here. Passport security 1.2 version is available. And this certificate is expired on Monday, September 2021. Verified by Hydrant ID, Advanced Cloud Corporations. So this is this is verified. Okay, in the website, on the website resources.com. Okay. So this is all sort of informations you need to be checking it out all the time. Okay, these are permissions because we are doing right now application security, right? So any website security, okay, any things you would like to check it out. But first of all, we need to check it out the certificates, okay, and how much weight it is requirement for things. Okay, let's move further. So web servers misconfigurations. I already suggested that another method of attacking is by finding vulnerabilities in the website and exploiting them. An attacker may look for misconfiguration and vulnerabilities of the systems and components of the web server. An attacker may be identify weakness in the terms of default configurations, remote functions, misconfigurations, default certificates, and debugging exploit them. Okay, so if you install the default certificates, okay, then there may be some issues there. Okay, so the hacker is going to access things. If you're going to provide some misconfigurations of the website, this is also the problem with your website. Okay, if you have provided some default configurations, okay, and if the more functions you provide some of things, so it's a weakness in the website. Same time. So suppose we are going here, close it. We are going here. This is a Cisco site. Okay. Under the inspectors, basically you can just going here always, and you can just go for the web developer things, right? Web developer things, and what things you would like to check it out. You would like to check the inspector. You would like to check the web consoles, debugger, network, performance, everything. So this is all things is available in internet as well. Suppose I would like to check the inspector sort of things. Okay, so this is the header sort of thing. The body ID W2 is there. Okay, so this is the background sort of thing. So, okay, so if you have the Sql injection, and if you uh, have the ID and password of the admin access, then you can quickly modify this particular thing. Okay. So this is style. sort of things. So whatever we are going here is going to be check it out what sort of things we need to be changed out. So this is the page information. So okay, this is JavaScript is there. If you have experience in Java coding sort of things, so you can just going to change the script same time. So I already suggest you that this is the 256-bit okay security of the particular website is there. Okay, so these are the different body structures. So you can want to change the particular body. Okay, so because this is the body part, you can want to be Node.js. You can change it out same time. So this is the console sort of things. So I mean, page sort of things with name. Okay, so publisher is corporation is Cisco, name Cisco corporation sort of things. This is Cisco. But by HTTP site is www.cisco.com. Cisco India web page is there. Okay, so errors is any errors, logs, debug, can find it anything. So if you have debugger sort of things, so this is the source side is there. This is the domain sort of things, and we are going here, and this is going to check out what sort of functionality of the particular website. So we can going to change it here. So the matter of fact that we cannot do it because we can find out the number of things from this particular website. We cannot make changes. Okay. So the network is basically tells that what is the performance of the website. Once you just are going to open this particular website, to how much time it will take to open the website. Okay. So this if you're going to be changed, we don't have permissions to access the HTTPS libraries. Okay. So I already suggested that we have to go for if we're going to open the library files, then we require some permissions accessing an AWS. Okay, guys, so this is the all information which you're talking about. The push information is method, different methods we're going to use it. Okay, and if you're going to this particular method, and okay, so the cookies is there. Okay, so struct phrase and the security concern. Okay, so already suggested this is version TLS version 1.2. You need to understand what TLS is all about. Transport layer security version 2.2. This is cipher suit. Okay, this is exchange 256. Here this is RSA signature scheme name. Okay, and if you're talking about some certificate authorities issued this one, organization is not available, issued by this company, Amazon. Okay, Amazon company. Okay, server CA11B period is there, begins expire at what time? Okay, particular information. And if you this is the security keys, okay, this is a cipher is available to 56. So the if you are going to breach the security of a particular website, so we need to decode this particular interruption in same time. Okay. This is transparency sort of thing. So this is all about we just talking about into this particular website performance. So we have editor, some sort of editor, so we can want to be edit the particular website so different things. You can write down just your own code and then it will be working sometimes. Performance. So this is all I'm talking about what type of performance it is. It's going to be open. Because how much time it will take to open a particular website in the memory. So it will take a snapshot of the particular things which is working here. Okay, so this is snapshot of things. This is storage part. Okay, this is how do you accessibility sort of things. So you can save and turn on accessibility filters. Okay, so platform. Okay, so the document. Okay, this is landmark. Okay, so we have different things available sections here. So anything new that just showing to you. Okay, so it will say that what type of browser informations. Okay, this is we are talking about the mobile. Okay, how this looks like in the mobile. So this is also we can test it from here. The views. Okay, and we have also the top to bottom, right, left, separate window. We can open it settings. We can do more settings. So for the inspector, editor, developer tools like okay, this type, dark sort of thing. Okay, so number of modifications you can do it as per your right. Okay, so we will move further again to the particular web, right? So web server misconfigurations, you understand that they have the misconfiguration into the website. Okay, this is the website. If you have misconfigurations on the particular side of things, this is enable some features. So you have certificates, default certificates to install it. Okay, the simple ID and password of the administrator. So anyone it can be hacked. Information can be hacked sometimes. Actually, response splitting attacks. Okay, same thing is there. So HTTP response splitting is that the techniques in which the attacker sends response splitting request to the server. By this way, attacker can add the header response, resulting the servers will split the response into two responses. The rapid response is under control of the attackers, so user can be redirected to the malicious website. So splitting the attacker techniques by which the attacker sends response splitting request to the server. Same thing. The splitting, okay, different split the request. And web poisoning attacks is basically the cache poisoning attack in the technique in which attacker wipe the actual cache of the web server and store fake entries by sending the corrupted requests into the cache. This way they direct the users to malicious web pages. So what happened into this web cache poisoning? So we found that suppose this is web server, so we have some caches available. So this is my system, and if we're going to the in the particular thing, so we have caches available. So okay, so we have which website we have gone previously, okay, and what type of site is there. So attacker is going to poison the particular your cache. Okay, so your cache informations, your cookies informations, manage exceptions. So each and everything is there. Suppose this is a new one. So if you want some different derivative, then you need to open it. Okay, and then we have different things will be available. Okay, so okay, so this is the cookies everything. So we have so much data available. So 1339 items are more than synced with the devices. Download 125 items, cookies is 550 sites. Okay, different 319 cache images are in files. Okay, so this is 319 MB size of your cache. So attacker is going to what is going to do? They will going to hamper this particular cache. Okay, so this is the web cache poisoning. So you poison your cache. Fake entries will be provided same time. SSH brute force attack. So brute force forcing the SSH tunnel will allow the attacker to use the encrypted tunnel. This encrypted tunnel is used for the communication between hosts. By brute forcing the SSH login credentials, the attacker can try access to the SSH tunnel. Okay, so what happened? I'm just going to use PuTTY. This is the particular software, the small software we're going to use it, and in this particular things, what we're going to find out. This is PuTTY. If you have worked on it, you're going to install it for you. The PuTTY is there. This is the putty app. Okay. So we have the specific IP address we need to provide here. This is a row, telnet, R login, SSH, and serial. So SSH we are talking about. So we have SSH port number 22. This is if you going to telnet, your different networking devices. So going to the telnet, the port number 23, and then you need to provide your IP address at the same time. Okay. This is the IP address required. One thing is you need to do it. Okay, and one more thing is basically, suppose if you're going to load the configuration, so just go to okay. Then what you're going to do is so now put this package into the log. So we are just going here. This is SSH brute forcing the SSH tunnel will be allowed attacker to use it rapid at the same time. Okay. So what you're going to do is that you're just providing the IP address same time here. Anything 192.168.1.1. Okay, so we exactly required some connectivity particular things so that it is what the session will be start at the same time. So what you're going to do? This is the save over here. So we don't have any devices available. That is why we are not going to do the things. So this encrypted tunnel is used to communicate between the host by brute forcing the SSH local credentials, and attacker can gain unauthorized access to the SSH tunnel same time. So web application attacks. So we have other web applications related attacks may be cookie tampering, DOS attacks, and SQL injections. Session hijacking, cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, attack, cross-site scripting attack, and buffer overflow. These are some more different sort of attacks. Okay. So attack methodology is basically information gathering includes a collection of information about targets using different platforms either by social engineering, internet survey, etc. An attacker may use different tools, networking commands for extract information. An attacker may navigate to robot.txt file to extract information about internal files. Okay. So what we can go into, we have the user agents, files sort of things, robot.txt sort of things, and we will find all things. Information gathering. So we have got lots of information. Suppose this is the website. Suppose this is a website and we would like to know more information. So first of all, we need to understand the particular tape. So we can go for developer things and we will get lots of information about this particular website. Okay, so all the protocols, which protocols, RSA tokens, performance. Okay, all things you will just find out from here. Web server footprinting, so it includes footprinting focused on the web server using different tools such as uh, that Netcraft, Malgito, and HTTP, Pion, etc. Results of web server footprinting bring server names, type operating systems, and running applications and other information on target website. Okay, so in the footprinting, what we're going to do it, we have to find out what are the different vulnerabilities. Okay, so we have using some different tools like Netcraft and Malgito tools and HTTP, Pion tools, etc. Okay. So these all tools available into the Kali Linux environment. Okay, so we will just do some practicals in the Kali Linux sometime later. Web server provisioning tool is basically you can going to install this particular web server provisioning tool. Your and IP address of the target server. Sometimes IDs are that will query the server same time. So the trial period is 4 GB like for a 30 days trial. So you can going to install on the platform. Okay, the light version thinks you're gonna use it. Okay, your ID as trials for of things. So you can use it on the server only. The open ports, server types, and other information extracted. So you can install a server and then you can use it for the things. Mirroring a website. So as defined earlier, mirroring a website is either process mirroring the entire website is local systems. If the entire website is downloaded and onto the system, it enables its attacker to use the inspect in website dictionary structures and find out the vulnerabilities from the downloaded mirror website copy. Instead of sending multiple copies to a web server, this is the way to find out vulnerabilities in the websites. So vulnerability scanning. So vulnerability scanners are automated utilities which are especially developed to detect vulnerabilities, weaknesses, problems, and faults of the operating systems, network software, and the applications. These scanning tools perform deep inspection of scripts, open ports, banners, running services, and configuration errors and errors. Okay, so you are going to use some vulnerabilities scanners sort of things, automated utilities, which are especially developed for the detect vulnerabilities, weaknesses, problems. So we have different vulnerabilities available, so you can go and install some OpenWS. Is a penetration testing. Okay, so it is going to uh, help you out in the penetration testing of web servers. Okay, so this is a scanner, OpenWS sort of things. Okay, so it was going to be, you know what, so it's an open source tool, right? So it's open source tool and it can be used for to getting. So OpenWS is basically you can just find out into the Kali Linux as well, and also you can use it into the use from here. So Greenbone Security Manager at work. So you can go here and then you can download it and they will send to you. First, okay, you can just register it, critical infrastructure and vulnerabilities management, and they will send to you the exact information all about it. Okay. So what you're going to do, you just link cabinet and then going to log in with the same. To open this. Okay, so session hijacking is one of them. So session hijacking is attacker by intercepting, at- alternating, altering, and using a management attacks to hijack a session. The attacker uses the authenticated session of a legitimate user without legitimate in new sessions with the target. Hacking web passwords. So password cracking is the method of extracting the password to gain authorized access to the target systems in the guys. Legitimate user password cracking may be performed by social engineering attack or cracking through tampering a communications and stealing the stored information. Okay, so the information will be stolen. The password attacks are classified into the following types: known electronic attacks, active online attacks, passive online attacks, and default password and offline attacks. So these are the some password attacks we are going to do it. So countermeasures, the basic recommendations for securing the web server from initial internal and external attacker, and the other threat is the place where the web server is a secure zone where web server devices such as firewalls, IDS, and IPS are deployed, filtering and inspecting the traffic destined to the web servers, placing the web servers into a isolated environment such as demilitarized zone (DMZ), protected for its threat. Okay, so this is the what remote server, remote user is going to access from this particular internet. Okay, and this is your firewall, and the firewalls we have separate zones available for the demilitarized zone, and in this demilitarized zone, all the servers are available. Okay, and then another part is there, the external internal firewall is there, and your internal users is same time is there. Okay, so if the hacking has been done, so it is going to this particular web server, not to internal users. Information can be leaked. Okay, because we have external firewalls, this is your internal firewall you can use it. But currently in the modern times, we are using only one firewall. This is the also scenario you can use it for deployment. So instead of we are going to provide the firewalls, we have firewalls available, we can go for the load balancers. So we can go for F5 load balancers, RatePay load balancers, so that all the servers are connected with this particular load balancer, and the load balancer connected with your firewall. This is the what methodology. Now the architecture you can use it. The countermeasures detecting web servers hacking attempts. So there are several techniques that are being used to detect any intrusion or unexpected activity in the web server, such as websites change detection systems detects for a hacking attempt by using scripting, such as which is focused on inspecting changes made by executable files. Similarly, hashes are periodically compared to detect modifications. Okay, so I've already suggested you that the modifications in the hashes is need to be detection sort of thing. Okay, periodically compared to the detection modifications. So in the integrity of the data. Okay, so we just checking through the hashes and different attacking things. Defending against web server attacks. So auditing port numbers, we need to check it out the port numbers, how those ports are open, which ports are not open. Disabling insecure and unnecessary ports. So with the ports are necessarily open, so we need to be disabling the ports. Using port 443 HTTPS over port number 80. So we not need to use 80. We need to use always 443. In encrypted traffic, so we used to do some SSL TLS communications with the server and the client, and the server certificate same time we're talking about some TLS and digital signature sort of things. We need to use it. Code access security policies. So we have different code requirement. Disable tracing. So we also want to disable the tracing, so we cannot trace the packets coming from. Disable debug companies. Okay, so suppose I'm just going to do it CMD, and then I will go to print -a cisco.com. So this is the IP address is there 72.163.4.185. So I'm just going to copy this particular Cisco.com file, and then I'm going here and I'm going to check it out. Who is this? Who is? Okay, so it is basically suggest you quiz which is locations, mention everything of the particular websites. Okay, so we need to disable it on the website end. This is not okay. So we have just find out this particular IP. So this is the IP address of the range is this one. This page is 163.0.0.55. CID are this one. 16 range. Net name is this one, and the parent company is this is okay. This is the organization is Cisco.com. Okay. So what we have done it, we have done some Cisco.com over there. Okay, and we have find out the IP address, and then we have find out which is the website, and this is registered date is this one. Okay, and this is the page reference date. This is locations of particular uh, St. John's, Cisco. Okay, so we have find out number of things from the particular IP addresses. So how do we get it information? So this is the ping request, and what happened? IP address to host name to IP address. Okay, so name to IP address to name. So this resolving has been done by the DNS. So DNS lookup, you can just going to check it out. So NS lookup, okay, and if you have to Cisco.com, then the same IP address 72.168.4.185. This is the IP address of the DNS servers. It resolved in same time. Okay, and we have Cisco.com, and then we have some specific IP address here. So you can confirm same time that what is the IP address of DNS servers and where it is coming from. You can just going for a tracing the same time. Okay, it is coming from which is the IP address, where is the location of the IP address. So this is the way we can just going to be trace the particular locations. Okay, so this is a disabled tracing sort of things. Okay, a disabled debugging compliance. So we have different. We can check it out certificates. We can check it out encrypted traffic sort of things. Your site will be HTTPS traffic, disabling insecure and SSL port. So different ports are open. Okay, auditing the ports with the different ports are open basically, right? So we don't know the different ports are open. So we have to use some port scanners to check it out. We can use for Nmap which ports are open. Okay, in general life. So we have go for some Nmap. This is also the tools you can go and download and install it on your Windows environment. Okay, and then you just provide some target IP address. So this is my routers. Okay, and we're going to inspect this particular thing here. Quick scan. Okay, and then we're going to scan it. Okay, so it just suggests you that what the different IP addresses, which is the ports are open from this particular router. The ports, this is the right, this is the things available. So these are the telnet, domain, HTTP, URMAP. So these ports are open right now. Look at this. These ports are open. Okay, so you can just check it out, all things, which ports are open, which ports are. So I don't think so we require this port availability of telnet. I'm not using it there telnet, so we can block this port. Okay, I don't want to use any HTTPS thing, so you can just block this particular HTTP so that everyone can, what if they're going to do it, they simply go here. Okay, and this is the HTTP traffic, so we are going to 192.168.1.1. Okay, and what they are doing is, suppose the HTTP traffic is open, so I'm a hacker, so I'm going to use HTTP / get interval. Same time it is asking the password. This is my Netgear device. Okay, and once I provide the default password, admin sort of things, if it is misconfigured or there is no password has been changed, so it will be easily cracked from somebody, right? So this is the sort of things you need to be taken out. I have provided password, different password, that is why it is not open. Okay, and this is the domain TCP port number, telnet is 23. So that sort of things you can just take it out. Suppose it is 23 port number, so your can be 150, and this is person telnet, then 192.168.1.1. Not coming right now. So telnet I think is not open, my dear friends. Into this, if you have checked it out, we have not telnet. We have, yes, we have telnet is open same time. So we are waiting again 192.168.1.1. I don't know what is required here. So it is not accessible to it. I don't know what is the reason behind it. I have to check it at my firewall again. Okay. So the HTTP and the telnet, then it will be easily accessible. Anything. Okay. So you require then the password sort of thing protections, and open ports need to be closed. Something. So there is a mind map is here. So web server attacks countermeasures. So what you require strong password policies. Okay. So whatever the password you're going to use it, which password you're talking about here? We're talking password for particular website. This website, and this is the login. Okay. So if you're going to be login, so we require admin ID and password sort of things. Okay. So it's for my users login. Okay. And the scheduling server outage. Okay. So we have to schedule the outage that this time it will be not available your servers. Software updates. You need to be update your software all the time. Okay. So what do you mean by updating your software? So first of all, you need to be check it out. What is the version of this particular sites? Okay. So we have different settings about it. The secure connections. So you have some data copies. This is the data available. Okay, scheduling software updates, block unused ports, secure web permission, audit and alert the failure. These sort of things for countermeasures between one and the other. The push updates and NTFS permissions. What type of permissions you want to provide? NTFS permissions on the web servers. Okay. And what type of blocking framework? Removing unused modules and extensions same time. And list privileges and database secure accounts, disable default accounts using encryption protocols, session ID tracking using HTTPS over HTTP. Okay, so we always be use HTTPS connectivity. Okay, so this is the HTTPS connections. Okay, so HTTP connection, suppose we are using to Wireshark and we can decrypt the particular ID or password of the same thing if the HTTP connectivity is there. So HTTPS is encrypted. Okay, the port number is 443. So this is the things you need to be take care. .NET framework. Okay, so if the .NET framework, so we can modify, so we can check it out what type of language it is. So I think mostly the sites currently they are written in PHP and Java. So 99% the thing is you will just find out in the Java. We already seen some time later. Down there. So you should get knowledge about the Java same time. .NET as well. Removing unsecured modules and extensions. So if you have any extensions, the plugins need to be removed all the time. Okay, it's using invoker method sort of thing. So this is the mind maps you're gonna use it. Okay. Then what do you understand the patch management, patches and hotfixes? As we know, patches and hotfixes are required to remove vulnerabilities, bugs, and issues in a software release. Hotfixes are updates which fix these issues, whereas patches are pieces of software that are specially designed for fixing the issues. Okay, so we have hotfixes, updates, hotfixes, and uh, patches. So patches are basically to remove the vulnerabilities. Suppose you have vulnerabilities, bugs, and issues in the software release. Okay, suppose you have Android mobile handset and you are using to open some different applications like IRCTC, different things. So they are the what issues and bugs and vulnerabilities in the site. So how can we going to remove this particular bugs? We have to provide some patches and hotfixes to release. Sometimes when it is what updated your release and patches. Okay, so your website is going to be fixed. So hotfixes are updates which fix these issues, whereas patches are pieces of software that is specially designed for fixing the issue. Okay, and hotfix is referred to as a hot system specially designed for a live production environment, whereas fixes have been made outside its normal development and testing to address the issue. The patches must be downloaded from the official website, home sites, and applications and operating system vendors. This recommendation is registered to or subscribe to receive alerts about latest patches and issues. Because of hotfixes, you can fix this hotfixes at the same time in the live environment sometimes. But the patches are going to be released from some vendors. Like Microsoft vendor is going to provide the patches to the Microsoft Windows. Okay, so it's release time, and we have to first of all test the particular patches, and then we need to be released. So manual download from a vendor or auto update. So two things we can be applying the uh, for the patches sort of things. So patch management is an automated process which ensures the installation of required or necessary patches on a system. Patch management process detects the missing security patches, find out the solutions, downloads, and the patches, test the patches in an isolated environment. That's why testing machine and then deploy the patch into systems. Okay. So first of all, we have testing, okay, and then we have to deploy the patches into the system sometimes. If you're not testing and if you install the patches into the systems, then these issues, then there will be some possibility that the applications and some other things will not work. So the MBSA Microsoft Baseline Security Analyzer is a tool where you can download from this Microsoft at same time, and then you can launch it into your Windows. You know what? It will find out all the information about your Windows. MBSA, you can find it here. Download, install, and run. Right. So what is going to provide? This is all the user information will be provided, scanning all sort of things of your systems. What is the hotfixes? What are the patches? What are the updated, not updated? What are the IP address, system name? Everything is going to provide information. So it will take you around, I think, 15, 20 minutes to what doing all sort of things. So this is this plan security analyzer providing the details. Okay, so you mostly times you're gonna provide the Windows environment and the Windows environment, web server is available, so you can run this particular tool, MBSA. Web server security tool is Shunt Hybrid. Shunt Hybrid, okay? So it is going to provide different coding sort of things, what are the different coding and IP address things, okay? The codes are working on abstraction sort of things. SYHU and T. Okay, so this is a tool you're gonna use it. So another thing is available right now. Other things. Okay, so for chapter 14, hacking webs applications. Okay, so we have understand that what different techniques. What are the what hot fixes, the patches? How do we get information about the websites? What are the different modules? HTTP, HTTPS, TLS. Okay, performance and different countermeasures. What we can do with the websites. What secure sort of things. Okay, so the thing is, how can right now we hacking the webs applications? A significant increase in the usage of web applications will provide high availability and extreme performance of all the application. In this modern era, the web application is popularly used in corporate sector to perform important tasks as well as used globally for a social purpose. So it becomes a great challenge for a web servers administrator and application server administrators to ensure security measures and eliminate vulnerabilities to provide high availability and smooth performance of your website software. Okay? So web application pen testing, collecting information, configuration testing, authentication testing, session testing, and authorize- authorization testing, data validations, DOS testing, web service testing, and document finding. Okay, so these are the different concepts where we can what going to crack the applications of the sort of things. So web application concept is basically it is used for web applications are that application that is running on a remote application server and available for clients over the internet. Okay, and so these web applications can be available on different platforms such as browsers or software or to entertain the clients. Use the web applications has been incredibly increased in last few years. Web application is basically depending upon client server relationships with the client are basically providing an interface to the client of web services. Web pages may be generated on the server or containing the scripting and executed on the web client dramatically. So we have server administrators. Okay, server administrators basically used to provide the server things, how the things servers into the safety, security, functioning, performance. Okay, so they are responsible for eliminating security measures and deploying security models, finding and eliminating vulnerabilities. And the application administrators are basically some different tools available. So application administrator is responsible for the management and configurations required for the web applications, and it ensures the availability and high performance of the web applications. Okay, so any configuration, installation, and maintenance changes in the applications as okay in the web applications, the application administrator can do it. Okay, and server administrator is basically what take care of the server, the security, the functioning, the performance of the servers. Okay, what type of server need to be installed? It will be set by the server administrator. What was security requirement? This is server administrator task. What is the performance of the web servers? It is the server administrator task. But the configuration part, okay, the changes in the maintenance part, it basically application administrator will be let you know. The availability of the applications all the time. So the clients are those endpoints which interact with the web servers on a applications server to avail the services offered by the server. These clients require a highly available service from a server at any time. While these clients are accessing the resources, they are using different web servers, browsers, which might be risky in terms of security, right? So this is the client, okay, and it is going to access that with the browser. So it is an internet connection. Same time, the web servers, web applications going to working. The application server is going to be working, and the database server is going to work. So there are web servers, application servers, and database servers. So three things are working together. The applications will be installed on the server side, and what are the database accessibility same time. Okay, so the browser, the user is going to be access any sites. Okay, and then it is the API application program interface going to run on the browser. Okay, then it is going to the internet connection, then it is going to web servers. So web servers accessing the request same times, and then what type of request? Okay, suppose you are going to the Amazon site and you choose some product, okay, and you have to go insert into the bin. So web servers is into handling the request, all the clients. Then the web application servers is what type of applications going to run at same time, and then you run into the bin, then it will show the database application, database and this need to be working same times. How do a web server application works? A web application functions in two steps, front end and back end. Users request for handled by the front end, whereas the user is interacting with the web pages. Services are communicated to the users from the server through the button and other controls of the web page. All processing was controlled and processed on the backend. Server-side languages like Ruby, PHP, C Sharp, Java, Python, JavaScript. So these are the languages you understand. And the client-side languages include CSS, JavaScript on HTML side. So if you're creating a website in HTML format, JavaScript you need to run it. The CSS format is a client side. Cross-site scripting. Okay, this is the Python, Ruby, Java. PHP is one of them. PHP, yes, PHP, most of PHP, Ruby, and Python, and also the JavaScript. And currently, the Python is what more and more we are going to be used at the same time. So the web server application is basically working on the following layers: a presentation layers, logic layer, and data layer. So presentation layer responsible for displaying and presenting information to the user on the client end. The logic layer used to transform query, edit, and otherwise manipulate information to and from the forms. Okay, and the data layer is the layer responsible for holding the data and information for application in the whole. So Web 2.0 is basically is going to working. So 2.0 is the generation of World Wide Web websites that provide dynamic and flexible user interaction. It provides ease of use, interoperability between the products, systems, and devices. Web 2.0 allows users to use the interact with and collaborate. The social performance platforms such as social media site and social networking side, previous generations Web 1.0 was working. So Web 2.0 is almost all users for the same freedom to contribute. The characters of Web 2.0, which user experience, user participations, dynamic content, metadata, web estimate, and availability. So web application threats is cookie poisoning. Okay, insecure storage, information leakage, directory transmissible, parameter from tampering, DOS attacks, buffer overflow, log tampering, Sql injection, cross-site scripting, cross-site request forgery, security miscommunication, broken session management, DMZ attacks, session hijacking, network access attacks. So these are some most common attacks on the web server side. So unvalidated inputs refers to the processing of non-validated input from the client to the web application or backend servers. This is a vulnerability that can be exploited to perform accesses, buffer overflow, and injection attacks. So parameters from tampering is parameters tampering refers to the attack which is parameters are manipulated which client and servers are communicating with each other. Parameters such as information resource locator URL, web page fields and modified by this where the user may either be directed to another website or that may be exactly look like the ready-made site of the modifies with such as cookies or fields HTTPs. Injection flows. The injection flows is basically a SQL injection sort of thing. Injection attacks works with the support of web applications vulnerabilities. If a web if a web application is vulnerable, that it allows untrusted input to be executed. Malicious code injections, injections, or malicious SQL injections will result that result in the exploit. Injections flows include the following: SQL injections, command injections, LDAP injections. Okay, so we have different injects. Things available for So SQL injection is basically the injection of malicious SQL queries. Using SQL queries, unauthorized users interrupt the processes, manipulate the databases, okay, and execute the command and queries by injections, resulting in their data leakage or loss. These vulnerabilities can be detected by using application vulnerability scanners. SQL injection is often executed using address bar. Attacker bypass the vulnerable applications security and extract the valuable information from its database using SQL injections. Okay, so SQL injection basically is a queries is injection of malicious SQL queries using SQL queries. Okay, so unauthorized users interrupts the processes, manipulate the databases, and execute the commands and queries by injection same time. Okay, so data leakage or data loss sort of informations will be the issues will be happen. So command injections, we have some shell injection, file injections, and HTML embedding. Okay, LDAP injections, we are going to use it some lightweight directory access protocols. Injection is technique that also takes advantage of non-validated input vulnerability. An attacker may access the database using LDAP filter to access the information. Okay, so denial of service attacks, growth attacks is user registration DOS, login DOS, user inaugurations, and account lockout. So user registration DOS attacker may automate the process to keep registering with a fake account. Okay, so DOS attack is basically providing fake accounts login again and again. Login DOS attacker attempt to send login requests repeatedly. User enumeration, so an attacker may attempt to try different username password combinations from a dictionary file. Account lockout, when an attacker is attempting to lock the legitimate account by attempting invalid passwords. Okay, different attacking passwords. Web application hacking methods analyze web applications. So analyzing web applications includes observing the functionality and other parameters to identify the vulnerabilities, entry points, and server technologies that can be exploited. HTTP request and HTTP fingerprinting techniques are used to diagnose these parameters. Account lockouts, when attacker is attempting to lock out the legitimate accounts by entering the invalid password. Okay, so suppose if you are government controllers, you are using the directory. So user is going to do what different passwords, so it is account lock out your password same time. So it is sort of DOS attacks. Web application hacking method also analyze web applications. Analyzing web application includes observing and functionality and other parameters to identify the vulnerabilities, entry points, and server technologies can be exploited. HTTP request and HTTP fingerprint techniques are used to attack. So attack authentication mechanism is username enumerations, cookie exploitation, session attacks, and password attacks. So these are the some attacks that have been done by these things. So attacker by accessing the web application using low privileged accounts escalate to the privileges to access sensitive information. Different techniques are used such as URL, post data, query, string cookies, parameters, tampering, HTTP header, etc. Session management access, session token prediction, session token tampering, man-the-maid attacks, session reply. Perform injection attacks. So we have them web script injections, OS command injections, SMTP injections, Sql injections, LDAP injections, XPath injections, and buffer overflow and kernelization. Attack data connectivity. So we have some connection string injections, connection string pollution, and connection spool those. And this is the mind maps you can wanna done it. Okay. So web application hacking method is basically attack authorizations. Okay, so HTTP request tampering or cookie parameters tampering. Okay, so attacker web services. So tracing attack, XML injections, probe attack, soap injections. So footprinting web infrastructure. So hidden content discovery, server discoveries, server identification, service discovery, perform injection attacks. So we have LTAB injections, SQL injections, SMTP injections, web injections, OS command injection, expert injections, and buffer overflow. And we have actually talking about some attack authentications mechanisms. So we have password attacks, session attacks, username innovations, and cookie exploitation. And attack data connectivity. So we have connection string parameters, pollution, connection string injections, connection pool those, and attack web applications client. So we have injection attacks, frame injection, session active attacks, privacy attacks, request, target attack, HTTP header injections, and process scripting. Okay, identify server side technology, identify entry point user input, identify server side technology, map the attack surface. Okay, so we have some URL encoding the same time, HTML encoding. You need to understand some encoding same time. Okay, there are application countermeasures of hotfixes, patches, cookies, timeout, login, logout functions. So this is also important. So if you're talking about some clear history, SU, SSL, strong in cryptography, we have to use it. So dynamic testing, in this what we can do it. So the dynamic testing is the limit length of the user input, monitoring database traffic, input, output encoding, customize error message, input validations. We have some SQL injections, so like access traffic, testing tools, filtering metadata, encoding, application firewall, filtering output, web service attacks. We have IDS, WSDL, access permissions, firewall, DDoS attacks. We have reverse proxy, remove unnecessary functions, secure remote administration, firewall institution detection systems. We can, so we have those sort of attacks. So we can use this sort of things. Reverse proxies, remove unnecessary functionality of the sites, and secure remote administration. Okay, so we don't require some remote control of the site accessibility. We can control the firewall. We can use the IDS and IPS, intrusion detection system, and intrusion prevention system sort of things. So we have IDS, intrusion detection systems, WSDL, access permission controls. We import some firewalls. The open source analysis, we can do it. Okay, so we have dynamic testing, and we have some different source code analysis, and we can do some SQL injections sometimes. So we have studied all sort of things right now. This is dynamic sort of things. Yes. So we any questions, Manish, right now?
No, sir.
Okay. So as per you, what you want to do, you need to understand about here. I will let you know. So you need to understand the information about here. This is information. So you have different injections. Let me going to write down here. So injections, broker authentication, sensitive data exposure, XML entities, okay, and broken access control, security misconfigurations, cross-site scripting, and insecure decentralization. Okay, so the matter of fact that my dear friends, the application security is very important for you because if you understand the OSWAP, okay, this is also required. OSWAP we required some on how to things work in sort of thing. So application security, what we have secured in network firewall, we can secure our servers from network and security scanners. What about the application firewall? So these are the some questions, content of topics we need to be take care. So I just for your basically the project work, what you're going to do it, please do is fine. Okay. So first of all, you need to find out the answer for me. All sort of things. These are some questions you need to be providing answers. Okay. So please share the answers to me, all of them. So that's really information I will get it. Okay. Securing the web servers and other components. So switch off unnecessary functionality, limit the secure remote access, use accounts with limited privileges, permissions and privilege. Okay, segregate development, testing, and live environments, segregate data, always install security patches, monitor and audit the servers and logs, use security tools. Okay, so these are some terms you need to be. I'm just write down the bullet points. So you need to provide me the answers, all of them. Okay, we have secure firewalls. Okay, the firewall might be required the firewall for application security. We can go for the IDS, IPS. Okay, from the firewalls. Yesterday we have checked the firewall, the interest IDS and IPS how working. Okay, you can go for the network security class and the previous class and you just find out IDS, IPS how the working. Okay, we scan our servers and network with networks security scanners. Okay, so what type? How can we see what type of scanner it is? Okay, what type of how can we go for scanning your servers of your network on the network? What about the web application firewall? Okay, how the web application firewall gonna working? How can I secure my web applications? Okay, web vulnerability scanners. What are the different vulnerability scanners available in the market right now? Choose the right web application security scanner. Okay, so this is the answers I would like to get from your side. How to test a web vulnerability scanner? So ability to identify web application, right? And we have count with limited access. Okay. So this is the logical sort of web application security scanners, a complete guide on a guide to securing the web application environment. Identify logical vulnerabilities, example of logical vulnerabilities. So try to find out these answers and just try to create a project for yourself. So these are some questions, okay? You create a project where you working as a web web application penetration testing. Okay, and the what what are the business case, or you can say the use cases. The server security, right? Like example, if I'm talking about some healthcare, okay, healthcare domain. Okay, so healthcare domain requires some HIPAA compliance. Then HIPAA compliance, what we're going to do? Secure web servers. Okay, and if you're going to secure your web servers, so what information inside the server? Like we have patient information, we have uh, uh, doctors information we have. Okay, we have different diseases and remedy available. Okay, so how do you know about the web security? What? This one, right? So how do we involve in the web security? What offensive and defensive approach in the same? Okay, so create a project on the same sort of things, so that you will be get analyze that what's this sort of project I can create. And this the healthcare company, we have some healthcare products, we have some doctor informations, we have patient informations, we have the different disease informations, we have some remedy informations, everything we have, and we have to secure all the information. So we have to provide some countermeasures. Okay, so countermeasures will be technical controls, administrative controls. Okay, and we have some operational controls. We have some compliance. Okay, we have to go for some compliances. We have to go for some frameworks. We have to go for some standards. We have to go for some guidelines. Okay, and the same time you should be very technical terms. So today we are just talking about all the technical terms. Okay, offensive and defensive approach. You need to add all the points. Any questions regarding it? Hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes, Manish. Any questions regarding that?
So by
You understand?
tomorrow we have to submit it or?
You will take your time, no problem with this. Not necessary for tomorrow, but you have take your time. But create the things. What I'm suggesting to you
Yes,
simply.
sure,
Take
definitely,
your
I'll
time.
get it.
2 days, 3 days. You can take no problem with this. But
Okay,
the thing is important. You have understand. You need to provide some project sort of things. Okay. So everything is
sure,
available
definitely.
on the internet. Okay. Everything you understand. Everything you have already studied today. Technical, offensive and
Yes,
defensive approach.
yes,
Okay. So technical
sure,
things you know that compliances, framework, standard, controls, everything is required for the web application security because you are the security operation center. Any sort of things, any point of time, can any point of time. So you are ready for each and everything, right?
sure, sir.
Okay, thank you for time. So we are just set up the class today. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.